I mean, this movie is Johnny's, you know. I mean, this is why I'm sitting here. I would not be here for anyone but him, you know.
Well,
oh, I think I'll have an asthma attack now.
While he's choking, I will say, you know, in terms of the economics, I mean, the beauty was that Bruce, when he finally cracked it, and called me and said, "I understand now. You know, these two characters must go into one. It's got to be Hunter. It must be Hunter, only Hunter." Death?
Nearly.
No, he's all right.
Can I have some more of your coffee?
I think it's gone away.
Oh.
Where's Nathan? His first draft was essentially the shooting draft.
I have an inhaler. You need it?
Do you have one? How much?
We do.
You gonna charge us?
Free if you let me into the after party. I'm under 21.
You're in.
No.
Sorry.
Are you?
All right.
Can I take one from University of Washington, UW? Well, I'm going to. So then we'll come. Stay put over there. This is Cassinia. I'm going to say Cassinia. Does that look right to you?
Cassinia.
Yeah. Okay. It says, "How did you research the role?" Now, of course, you played older Hunter Thompson. Now you're playing Varjan Hunter Thompson.
It was interesting, you know, because having played Raoul Duke, which is the sort of full-blown, essentially the full-blown Hunter Thompson, circa 71, 72, but also, I mean, he was the Hunter Thompson, you know, up until 2005, the one that I knew. It was kind of a great challenge that Bruce and I shared. You know, how do we approach this guy? How do we approach Hunter before he found his voice? And luckily, Hunter was so incredibly generous with me over those years that he gave me, you know, I knew him so well that he gave me those, you know, those sort of moments. He gave me, he told me about himself and schooled me about himself before he had found that outlet, you know. So yeah, that was basically it. It was, you know, the idea is how do you sort of trim off the edges of that kind of flamboyant character, and find what he was like pre-freedom, you know.
You were able to go back to the later full-blown version a little bit in Rango as well, yes?
There was a moment or two, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's stay. Oh, look, it's Austin at Columbia College. That would be in Chicago, I believe. To the director, that would be you. Do you feel like you needed to live up to the infamous Fear and Loathing, or did you start from scratch?
Completely from scratch. One of the things you have to do as a screenwriter, which for my sins I am, is read the source material and throw it away, because otherwise you're stuck in trying to, I mean, I'll give you an example of this, is that my favorite book on earth is David Copperfield, and it's 900 pages long. It took Dickens 2 years to write, and if I was asked to write it as a flick, what am I going to do? I've got 105 minutes. So you have to absorb the essence of what it is you're trying to write and make it your own. And certainly with the Ramdari, there was no way I was going to sit there and in my writing room and think, oh, what did Hunter say here? What was this scene here? I wanted to be in the vernacular of Hunter S. Thompson, who, you know, we all incredibly admire, but I couldn't try and write like him. So I read the book a couple of times, threw it away, and then wrote my version of him, of what I thought Hunter would be in my head when I was writing this thing. And indeed, there are only literally 2 lines of the book in the film. Great lines they are too. One is, have some fun with a fucking Luger, which is one of the lines, and we'll be lucky to find an oil spot when they're looking for the car. But I had to kind of just love him, which I genuinely do as a writer. He was one of the great 20th century writers, him and old Bill Burroughs and 1 or 2 others. But he was such a great writer, Hunter, and he really affected me as a writer, even though I found him later in my life.
In the room.
Apparently that's what he did.
In the room to the right.
Hi, thanks to both of you for being here. There were many things that I really enjoyed about the film, but in the spirit of Hunter Thompson and the rage that you're talking about, I want to,
What's
not
coming?
quite rage, but I just want to ask you a little bit about something